Hi there. It's Upside Down Mustache Day, and it's also Lesson 2.2, Solving Two-Step Equations. Deuces are wild. Okay, so in solving two-step equations, we're going to use the same kind of thing we did last time. We're still going to use properties of equality and inverse operations, but we're going to have to do more than one step. We generally do, you undo operations in the reverse order of the order of operations. It kind of makes sense because we're undoing the operations, so we're going to undo them in the opposite order that we would do order of operations. So if you look at your variable here, you're being multiplied by 2, and then we're adding 3. Order of operations would say you do multiplication before addition. So the opposite of order of operations says we're going to undo the addition, and then we're going to undo the multiplication. Alright, so let's do that. First, I'm going to undo the addition by subtracting 3 from both sides. So, plus 3 minus 3 adds up to 0, so I'm going to have 2x left over there, and I get 2x equals 12. Then I'm going to undo the multiplication. I got x times 2, so I'm going to divide each side by 2. And I'm going to get x equals 6. And then I can check my solution by plugging a 6 in for x into the original equation. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15, so we're all good in the hood. Alright, so pause and see if you can figure out the solution to this equation. Alright, so we got 5 equals t divided by 2 minus 3. Now look at your variable. T is your variable that you want to isolate. And what operations are being done around that variable? We've got dividing by 2, and we've got subtracting 3. Reverse order of operations tells us we're going to get rid of the subtracting 3 first. So I will add 3 to both sides. And 5 plus 3 is 8 equals, these cancel, t over 2. Okay, now I just have one operation left to deal with. I got t divided by 2. What's the opposite of dividing by 2? It is multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And I get 16 equals t. And now I can check that solution. Does 5 equal 16 over 2 minus 3? Now I'm going to be using order of operations in regular order. I'm going to divide first and then subtract. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Does 5 equal 8 minus 3? Yes, it does. Hecka good. That's your secret phrase. You got me feeling hecka good. Okay, problem 2. You are making a bulletin board to advertise community service opportunities in your town. You plan to use a half a sheet of construction paper for each ad. You need 5 sheets of construction paper for a title banner. You have 18 sheets of construction paper. How many ads can you make? So your paper per ad is half a sheet. Paper for your banner is 5 sheets. Your total paper is 18 sheets. You need to know the number of ads you can make. So we're going to write and solve an equation. Let the variable represent the unknown. The unknown is the number of ads we can make. So let's say let A equal the number of ads we can make. So 1/2 a sheet times the number of ads we can make plus the 5 whole sheets that we need for the banner equals the total of 18 sheets that we have. Now we can solve this equation. What would we do first? Would we get rid of the multiplied by 1/2 or the added 5? We would get rid of the adding 5 first. So we're going to subtract 5 from each side. And that gives us 1/2 A equals 13. So, half of A. If A is multiplied by 1/2, we need to divide by 1/2, which is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of 1/2. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2. 2 times 1/2 is 1, so the coefficient of A becomes 1 now. and we get A equals 26. So that means we can make 26 advertisements for the bulletin board. Okay, so suppose you used a quarter sheet of paper for each ad and 4 full sheets for the title banner in problem 2. How many ads could you make? Alright, we're still going to let A equal the number of ads you can make. Now when we set up our equation, it's a quarter sheet times the number of ads plus 4 full sheets equals the total of 18 sheets that we're allowed, that we have. So we need to decide which operation to undo first, multiplying by 1/4 or adding 4. If we go in reverse order of operations, we know that we got to do addition and subtraction first and then multiplication and division. So I'm going to do the opposite of plus 4. I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. So now I have 1/4 A equals 14. And then 1/4 is multiplied by A, so I need to do the opposite of multiplying by 1/4, which is multiplying by the reciprocal of 1/4. So times 4 times 4, and I get A equals, let's see, 40 and 16 is 56. So if we make quarter sheet ads, we can get a lot more of them. We can get 56 of them. Okay. If one side of the equation is a fraction with more than one term in the numerator, you can still undo division by multiplying each side by the denominator. So if we got something like this, x minus 7 all over 3 equals negative 12, we can multiply both sides by 3. These 3's will cancel, and you'll get x minus 7 equals negative 36. And then you can add 7 to both sides, and you get x equals negative 29. And now you might say, well, reverse order of operations says to add 7 to both sides first. Problem is you can't, because this fraction bar is a grouping symbol. So first you have to get rid of this so that you can get rid of the subtraction. If you were to add 7 to both sides right now, you wouldn't be able to cancel this negative 7 because it's being divided by 3, just like the x. So you got to undo the grouping symbol first. So that's why we multiplied both sides by 3. So 3a, go ahead and pause, see if you can do that one. Alright, we got 6 equals x minus 2 over 4. So I got a numerator divided by 4. I can't add 2 to both sides right now because it's locked up in this grouping symbol. So what I can do is multiply both sides by 4. That will clear out this fraction, and I'll get 24 equals x minus 2. Now I can add 2 to both sides, and I get 26 equals x. So B says, write the right side of the equation in part A as the difference of two fractions, then solve the equations. Did you find the equation in part A or the rewritten equation easier to solve? Alright, so let's say instead of doing, we're going to do 6 equals x minus 2 over 4. We're going to say, alright, would it be easier to break this into a difference of two fractions and say 6 equals x over 4 minus 2 over 4? Because now we're going to be able to add, or we'll add 2 over 4 to both sides. Well, 2 over 4 is 1/2, right? So this is really 6 equals x over 4 minus 1/2. So now we can add 1/2 to both sides. So 6 plus 1/2, let's see, 6 is 12/2 plus 1/2 equals x over 4. So 12 plus 1 is 13, so we get 13/2 equals x over 4. And now I got x divided by 4, so I can multiply both sides by 4. And I'll get x equals, let's see, 4 is 2 times 2. And then this 2 will cancel with that 2, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then 2 times 13 is 26. So, the question is, which way did you like better? I kind of like this way better, because it was easier. But, as long as you're doing something that's true, like here we're doing stuff that's real, you can break apart a fraction like this, you can reduce this to 1/2, you can add 1/2 to both sides, and you can add fractions, and then you can multiply both sides by 4, and you'll still get the right answer as long as you do everything right, but this way is a little easier. Alright, when you use deductive reasoning, you have to state your steps and your reason for each step. This is kind of like how you're supposed to do a formal write-up. So what's the solution of negative t plus 8 equals 3? Justifying each step, like you're supposed to do in a formal write-up. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay, so negative t plus 8 equals 3. That is the original equation, or you can say that was given to us. Given. Now I'm going to, let's see, look at I got negative t and I got plus 8. I'm going to get rid of the plus 8 first. And why can I do that? The subtraction property of equality tells me I'm allowed to subtract the same number from each side of the equation. So now I got negative t equals negative 5. And then that's just using subtraction to simplify. Now they're going to say multiplicative property of negative 1. You can write negative t as negative 1 times t. Now we can divide both sides by negative 1 using the division property of equality. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1, so that leaves us with t equals 5. Okay, so what is the solution of x over 3 minus 5 equals 4, justifying each step? Okay, so we'll start off with x divided by 3 minus 4 equals 4, minus 5, sorry, equals 4. And that was given to us. That was the original equation. So next, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And I'm doing that by the addition property of equality. Now I can simplify. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so I just get x over 3 equals 4 plus 5 is 9. And now I got x divided by 3. So what I can do is the opposite of dividing by 3, which is multiplying by 3. And that is using the multiplication property of equality. Okay, now I'm going to simplify some more. And I get x equals 27. Bada boom. There's your lesson. Go ahead and get cracking on the practices and the formal write-up, and I will see you on the internet. Bye.